You were taught that kindness is a virtue. You were taught that helping others is a sign of a good heart. You were taught to be the person everyone can count on. But what if the very things you were told would make you a good person are the same things secretly making you a doormat? What if the invisible price of your kindness is your self-respect? There are 5 habits you're probably doing right now that don't look like self-sabotage, but they are. They are a silent contract you've signed that says other people's comfort is more important than your own peace. These aren't just polite gestures. They are deeply ingrained patterns that signal to the world that your time, energy, and dignity are for sale to the highest bidder. The people pleaser's 5 fatal flaws. But here's a truth that has been waiting for you in the ancient world. The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, understood that your worth is not a service you provide. It is an internal state you protect. They knew that respect isn't given. It is earned by the quiet and steady act of honoring yourself. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 things you need to stop doing immediately if you want to be a person of substance, not a person of convenience. And I'm warning you, when you stop doing these things, your relationships will get uncomfortable. Good. That's what happens when you decide to take up space in the world. The first flaw, the automatic yes. The first thing you need to stop doing is giving an automatic yes to every request, question, and invitation. You don't even think about it. The moment someone asks for a favor, you hear yourself say, "Sure, no problem," before your brain has even had a chance to check your schedule or your energy levels. Listen to yourself next time. The answer tumbles out of your mouth, and a moment later, you feel a knot in your stomach. That knot is your intuition telling you that you just traded your peace for someone else's problem. You're teaching people that your boundaries are non-existent. The second flaw, the emotional sponge. The second flaw is becoming everyone's emotional sponge. You're the one everyone calls when they need to vent. You sit there, absorbing every complaint, every story of injustice, every tale of woe. You leave every conversation feeling heavy and drained, as if you've been carrying a bag of someone else's trash. Here's the truth about what's really happening. Most people aren't looking for help. They're looking for a listener. They've found a way to offload their negativity without having to solve their own problems, and you've volunteered for the job. You've become their human emotional dumpster. The third flaw, resentment-fueled generosity. The third flaw is giving help with a silent, unspoken expectation of a return. You do a favor for a friend, but inside you're keeping a mental tally. When they don't do the same for you, a quiet resentment begins to build. You're angry, but you can't say why because you gave your kindness freely. But was it really a gift? Or was it a loan you never intended to collect but now desperately want back? You're not being generous. You're buying a feeling of virtue with your time and effort, and when the feeling wears off, all you have left is bitterness. The fourth flaw, the invisible apology. It's the constant, subtle way you try to take up less space. You apologize for your opinion. You apologize for asking a question. You even apologize for your presence. Sorry to bother you. I just wanted to ask, I hope this isn't too much. Every time you do this, you're sending a signal that you're an inconvenience. You're not being humble. You're actively devaluing your own existence. You are literally apologizing for being a human with thoughts and needs. The fifth flaw, the vicious cycle of validation. The fifth flaw is the vicious cycle of external validation. You're always looking outside of yourself for a sign that you are worthy. You live for compliments. You're devastated by criticism, and you'll change your opinions and even your personality to please a room. But here's what the Stoics knew. Approval from others is like a drug that never satisfies. The more you chase it, the more you need. True freedom comes from not caring what people think of you. When you stop performing for others, you can finally start being yourself. Here's what's going to happen when you stop doing these 5 things. At first, you're going to feel uncomfortable. People will be confused and maybe even angry. They're used to you as the one who always said yes and never said no. When you start acting like someone who has a quiet confidence, they will push back. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You'll no longer be their emotional sponge, their automatic yes man, or their walking apology. You'll finally be a person of substance, a person who lives by a set of personal values instead of other people's demands. The Stoics understood that self-respect isn't something you can ask for. It's something you must build. You are not a human vending machine that dispenses favors. You are a person, and your time, energy, and dignity are your most valuable assets. If you're ready to stop giving away your power and start building a life of respect and purpose, subscribe to this channel. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 things you struggle with most. The most honest responses will help me create content that actually changes lives instead of just getting views.